It's happening.
Oh, that's perfect. That's good. This
All
is
right,
really good.
Yeah, see, now we're live. How's it going, guys?
It's
Greg
going
here. We got Robert, Marco in the house. Say hello.
Hello, everybody.
Why are you so scared?
How's it going, everybody?
I thought you were doing the
We're
introduction.
not in the same place we normally are. Are we gonna be there next week?
Perhaps if the studio's not ready, but we're aiming to be in the new studio by next week, by next Thursday. So, welcome, Robert.
Yeah.
Welcome to Thought Process.
Hey guys, thanks for having me. That's good.
So we're going to be in the city of Orange today instead of Newport. New change, and then we're gonna be somewhere else.
You're in Fullerton, though.
Yeah, so we'll be in Fullerton. The new studio will be in Fullerton next week. So that'll be really good. So welcome to our podcast, Robert.
This is
we've been meaning to have you. We've just been practicing. So it's a pleasure for us to have you here today.
We're still practicing.
Yeah.
We're still practicing.
There will never not be practicing.
Yeah, I get it.
It's gonna be really good.
Yeah. I'm excited for it. Thanks for having me, guys. And not only that, I mean, I've been watching, so I've been, getting the vibe of what you guys have cultivated, and it's been really interesting. And then one of the things, just now that I'm on it, now that I'm here, and I can actually be like, because when you're watching, you're listening to a podcast, you're like, it's like when you're watching a game, and you're watching the players on the soccer field, and you're like, come on, man. Go, you should have gone left. It's like none of those players on the field have this aerial view.
Right.
These lights aren't here. There's not like a screen right here where you're like looking at yourself. You know when you do when you're at a grocery store?
Right.
And then you're like passing by the security kind of thing.
That's right.
That's what it feels like when you're
setting a self-checkout.
Yeah. It's just like,
oh wait, there is a camera in front of me.
That's right. So it feels like that now because when you're watching the podcast, you can see it from the outside. And then you can start to be like, oh, okay. And you start to look at little things. But when you're in it, I mean, you're just – so I was interested in being involved inside because I want to know what it feels like to be on the field. And it's actually this whole setup is like a whole little routine. This is like a real routine that you got to lock down. And it's going to be kind of good now that you're going to be in a studio and having it all kind of ready to go and set up and not have to do this as much anymore.
That's the plan.
But the problem is you're going to have to get a new computer because you don't want to touch Greg's computer or have that. Greg's going to need that, right?
No. I have one. Yeah. I have one. It's almost ready to go.
But yeah, it's good to be on. It's good to be here. Look, check this out.
Thank you so much for being our one of our few subscribers.
Yeah, that's right. 1 of 5. Hey, if you're listening out there, hit that subscribe button. Show some support. Thought process, and that thumbs up, and leave a comment. Actually, most importantly, to SEO purposes, what Google's going to do. Google owns YouTube. It's comments. So even if it's a bad comment, just fucking say what you have to say. We don't care. We need that SEO work.
It's fucking awesome, dude. Yeah. So Robert, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? I know that we've been friends for close to 5 years now. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. 2015, 2004, yeah.
So we're up 4 years, going to 5 years. Basically I wanted to show these people who are listening to us and seeing us one of our favorite persons.
One of your guys' favorite people. Is that true for you, Greg? I want you to say it live. I want it recorded live. I want you to say it, Greg.
I don't know about that.
One of your favorite. Well, going back to it. We met when you were at a time where you wanted to do this, like this, not this particularly, but this growth mindset. Mm-hmm. And because we had met each other before, I actually met you and Greg before, went to go eat sushi. But at that time, I mean, we were, the way the universe works is very strange.
Sushi's the first time?
Yeah, we went out to go eat some sushi.
With Wu and...
No.
Okay, I was about to say, no, we met way before that.
Way before that.
I don't even remember
This is when you had hair to here. You had hair down to your shoulder. You looked like a 70s rock star.
That was in high school then.
No, this was after.
I cut my hair before leaving high school.
I don't know about that. I think it was pretty long. I remember it being really long.
It was at Tokyo Table in Irvine.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, the incidentals of this are important. It's the way it worked. and then we met and then I had heard that you were trying to get to another level. And that was like, hey, I'm with that, because at the same time, I was trying to bring a different kind of environment around me. And you joined the mastermind group, which I had started. So a little bit about me. Grew up Orange County all the way. And same kind of things that I think everybody, right? Like we all go through it. So there's I can talk for hours about me, but how about us and the mastermind? This is what we were trying to put together. It was just a group of like-minded people who just was tired of the same ways of life, and we were trying to. And part of the environment that we were changing was making new friends.
That's right.
And that's what happened. We and then through Greg. And then Greg, sorry, man, you didn't come in as soon as we hoped, but you're in now. And I mean, that's really our history, our kind of past, and starting businesses, going through up and down. And I guess really that's a lot about me, because it's not just about you. It's just actually that's kind of how I've been for the last 5 years, meeting people, talking about these kind of things that we're going to talk about, thought processes. By the way, that's a really good name. Thought process.
Thanks. He was arguing with me for a little bit because he didn't know if it was misleading in a sense.
I like that it's vague. I like that it's vague, because it's every time I had mentioned it to somebody, like, oh yeah, I have a friend who has a podcast. It's called Thought Process, and I always say the name Thought Process, and then I was like a handful of times. So it's like Thought Process. Hey, that's a good name.
I know. I started noticing that I would say it in conversations. It's like I never thought about those words like in a normal conversation.
Yeah.
So whenever that can even possibly be a word to say, it's said now.
Yeah, I thought it was a good name. I think it's a really good name, and I think that's going to carry on to how everybody thinks, because I don't think the way you think, and I don't think the way you think, although there's some things that you might think that I would like to think like that. I'm like, oh, that's so it's a thought process of how we're doing this, and I like that. I like that. So that's a good one.
That's one of the
kudos
things.
To Greg.
We decided at the start that we would talk, and we don't ever think the same. Like we have to explain things. Usually we'll say something, and the other one will be like, what did you just say? So we have to then try to come up with a thought process that the other person will understand.
I think it's really good, because we're asking how you think. As if you're interviewing someone and you guys are sitting together all the times and you guys are interviewing each other, you guys are asking each other how you guys think. When we're talking to someone, we're just really asking someone else, how do you think? What's your thought process like? Right. I'm very curious about that. And then we're trying to put our thought process on people. Mm-hmm. This is how I think, and no, you're wrong, or yes, you're right. That's how I'm going to think. So I actually think it's a really good name that can carry on into the future. And it might divert into something specific in the future. We don't know. But the good thing is the name can carry that with it.
That's great to hear. That's awesome. That's really good. That's great feedback, man.
Yeah. And then another. Speaking of feedback, feedback with this channel and it being episode 8. That's pretty good, guys. A lot of people quit episode 1. A lot of people quit episode 2. A lot of people quit episode 100. Like, my whole thing is don't stop. Just keep going. Yeah. Just keep doing it.
We had like this 2-week window. I had to go on a week thing to go. I forget what it was. I think it was someone in my family was going to have a surgery. So we went to go visit them before. And so I was gone, and then I came back. And then he had something he had to take care of, so we didn't do one for 2 weeks. And I had this small feeling. I was like, this is that point, like we're done. And then he hit me up the same day and was like, all right, when are we doing this? And I was like, there we go. Yeah. And it's just that one thing that when you're doing something, you have multiple people there. It helps you continue.
Yeah, the accountability.
Yeah. And that's why I think so much fails, is because usually people are trying to do everything on their own.
There's a lot of people who do things on their own and they continue and they succeed.
It's like the gym. I hate going to the gym now by myself. I used to go like 6 hours a day, but now I just hate doing it by myself. And when it comes down to me doing it, I just don't do it anymore.
You feel like you need an accountability partner?
Yeah, almost.
I think it's good if you say it to people. I think accountability, you don't need the partner, but you need accountability. So when I say something, especially because I'm trying to hold strong to my word now, so I'm not just saying things anymore. Like, I wouldn't say, hey, I'm going to do this podcast with you guys and then not do it unless something came up. Right.
Yeah.
So, but if you say it to him and be like, hey man, I'm going to be hitting the gym every day. I'm going to lose this. I'm going to do that. That already alone right there. And it's past that. Say it to yourself in the mirror. When you say it out loud, for some reason, especially if you have some integrity in your life, if you say it out loud, I feel like it could be more real. So I don't know if you've said it out loud. I think that some people are afraid to say it out loud. Like for me, I will say it. I talk a lot and I say a lot of ideas. I had to cut that back a lot. And I'm only telling people the ideas that I know I want, so that way I'm committed to doing it. But even that, we're not committed to doing it.
It's like what you were just talking about the 25, 25, 25.
Yeah.
And you're like, I just have to get it done however I get it done.
Yeah.
There may be days where you do it straight in a row, which
Yeah.
are great. And there may be days where it takes you all day to finish it.
Yeah.
But as long as you did it that one day all the way through the day, that means that you're not going to stop doing it.
Right.
To give a little context on that, what is it that you're doing now?
Well, just to go back to that, he actually asked me a question. And he's like, are you doing that every day? I made sure. I was thinking about it. Do not tell him I'm doing it every day, because I'm not. I've done it the last 3 days. But I'm not going to do it every day. That's not. So if I tell you, yeah, man, I'm doing it every day, I'm thinking in my head, I'm committed. I need to do this every day now. I don't want that, because then I'm going to burn out. Then I'm not going to enjoy doing that workout. So, but I am telling you, this is a new routine that I started.
So for people who missed the first part, we were talking about it off the air. What was it that you wanted to, or that you're starting to do now? It's one of the habits that you started.
Oh, for the 25-25?
Yeah.
All right. So it's okay. And it was inspired by you, by the way. We went to the jacuzzi. Remember that night we went to the jacuzzi? I saw your transformation because you're hitting it really hard, right? This is your focus right now. So I saw your transformation compared to like a month ago or 2 months ago. So I was inspired by it. And I'm like, hey, what did you do? And you started saying, well, I do this. I'm like, fuck that. I'm not going to do all that. But I leave with the inspiration going, what can I do? Mm-hmm. And I thought, well, you know what? I'm already doing squats with my 25 pound. And I'm already doing pull-ups. I just don't do them in the same time. What if I can push myself? What would challenge me today to push myself? I said 25 squats, 25 push-ups. So I just like, if I could do that as a workout here at the house, because I don't go to a gym. So if I could do that and it steps up my regimen and it kind of pushes me a little bit, and it did, I'm over here going like, oh, I have been doing push-ups, but I haven't been doing them like this, where I'm doing 25. I'm trying to get to 25.
Oh, that's great.
So the push was that. And that's really what it was. It was 25, 25, 25.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah. So
that's really good to hear.
Yeah.
So how do you feel now that you've stepped it up a little bit on your regimen?
Well, I mean, what do you guys?
You're looking a little bit more toned.
It's not. I don't have this vision of where I'm trying to get ripped, and I don't have that vision. My vision is this: am I strong? Am I healthy? Am I pushing myself? Am I challenging myself? Because I really truly feel it now. Like when you're pushing yourself on a physical boundary, it feels so good. So
why do you have this need to feel healthier? Like what's pushing you towards this?
Yeah, it's a mental game. It's mental health, straight out. I started the mental health thing, and in between the mental health thing, it was you gotta be physically healthy. Your body, it's your machine.
That's one of the things I actually took from you. You sent out a Snapchat. We were talking about this on another podcast about cleaning, and you were cleaning everything, and then you sent the video of you cleaning your window shades.
Oh, yeah.
Like, this is what you're breathing in.
Yeah.
And this last week, I spent 3 days cleaning my whole room, pulled everything out, wiped down everything, packed things up that I didn't need, put it in a box, clean the windows, and I don't know what it is, but I'm sleeping like through the night. My room is not as hot anymore.
Okay.
And it's improved so much.
Yeah.
Like during the day, I'm not as tired anymore.
Okay.
And it's little things like that do help.
Yeah. I'm just being inspired, like the way you were inspired by that one little video.
Mm-hmm.
No one responds a lot. Like I'll send things out. You guys send, no one responds, but we'll read it and it takes like a week or two, and then we're in that.
Yeah, I feel like everything that is said needs to be processed. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Because most of the things, it has a lot of information,
yeah.
Right? It's got a lot of like inspirational quotes. It's got a lot of new knowledge, a bunch of different things. And you can't just flip a switch and then know it. It takes like a week. You got to think about it, sit on it. And then process the information and then put it into action.
The light switch thing, though, there is a mono light switch, but it's not when you want to do it. So, like, I was watching a documentary about kids in prison, and they were saying like you can see it in their transition. They're in this class and they have to learn, and then there's always this one moment when they start changing their habits, and the thing that clicks is they always say that there's someone specific that did something that then made it so that they understood and followed the path they were supposed to.
That's very interesting.
So it's almost like someone else finally flicks the switch for you. You're not just like, I know this now. Yeah. Someone else showed you how to get there.
Well, my belief on this is belief itself. So if I'm trying to change a belief or a habit that you've had for 15 years, and I think or I expect that you're gonna change this because of an inspirational quote you saw, that you're done. That's not gonna happen. I'm not gonna send a video to you and then I expect you to be that way tomorrow or the next week or the next month. I'm not gonna try to get rid of 30 years of habits in one inspirational quote, one inspirational video for 5 minutes. It just sets in.
Yeah.
When you're reading something and it starts to counteract your belief and you have to believe it now because you just got this confirmation bias.
Right.
Now you're reading it and then now you're dwelling on it. And now you're kind of, then okay, let's just say it had to do with candy, right? And then you read something on sugar and how bad it is for you and everything. And you wouldn't have read it otherwise unless you had a friend who was like health nut, right? Something like Marco would send. And then we're looking at that and I'm like not believing it because I eat candy all the time. I'm like, no, don't get rid of my belief. But it's going to take a week till I buy that candy bar. Right. And then I'm going to be like thinking about that thing you sent. I'm like, fuck. Like
when you're sitting in line, you're about to buy the candy
I'm eating
bar.
it. I'm going to eat it. And I'm going to do it again. And it's every time it's going to hit me because I'm not going to forget that thing you sent. It could take a week. But then when you do it, you're like, or you stop doing it and you get rid of that belief. That's when I feel like it's the switch goes on. But the switch went on right automatically. Introduction.
So our brother here, Gilbert, just joined us in the podcast today. He's our second special guest. Gilbert, would you like to introduce yourself?
What's going on, guys? So thanks for having me. I'm Gilbert, representing Pure One all day, every day.
What exactly is Pure One?
Pure One, man, is a window cleaning company, but overall is the new generation of window cleaning. We're doing things differently. We're upping the game. And I'm actually just came back from a job. Things got a little bit complicated, but I won't leave till everything is perfect. So it took me a while. Customer is happy, and that's all we care about.
Yeah,
that's great, man.
Yeah, but
thanks
thanks,
on following
guys.
through.
Hey, that was a good introduction. I like that. He's like the whole time in the car. The customers. No. We don't leave until the customer. No, say it. Hold on. Say it again. We don't. Yeah, I got it.
Like, no. Well, it's easy to say when that's all you do.
Yeah,
that's all you think about is customer service. We're in the whole customer service industry where the way we treat our customers is how we're going to get returning business. If we treat them like shit, they're never going to call. So I got to give it my 100% all day, every day. So that's what Pure One represents, is just that.
You want to talk about accountability? Start a company. That's accountability. Like people expecting you to do something for something they paid you for directly for your craft, your art, your service, whatever. That's real account. If you were getting paid to go to to train somebody, you would train harder than you've ever trained. If you know what I mean? So the accountability is what keeps this going, this customer service thing.
Yeah, I have no days off, man. Since I started, since day one, there's been no days off, no calling out sick. I don't have those privilege. I don't have that I could go party Saturday or Friday night, but I have a job. I got to be there whether I'm hungover or not. Do I want to be hungover? No. But man, it's hard. It's hard, but it's at the end of the day, it's my why that keeps me going. Because motivation dies quick.
Yeah.
Especially when you're doing it by yourself. You're starting off your company and people say, we've talked a lot about we talked to different business owners and the one thing they tell us all the time, it's not easy. It's hard. It's hard running your business. But hard is an understatement, man. That thing is fucking crazy. There's times where I just want to throw in the towel. But then I got to take a deep breath and remind myself of my why.
Like,
and that keeps me going. And my why is just making this company a great company, you know, making it where I want to be. And I know I'm probably taking it too far.
Go for it.
But man, I want to be the next Home Depot.
Yeah.
Why? Because whenever you think about a home improvement, anything, first thing that comes to mind is Home Depot.
Yeah.
I want to do that for the window industry, with the window cleaning industry, where you see a stain in your window, you automatically, it's like in there, pure one, the right way, the only way, the pure one way.
Well, that's great, man, that you joined us at the best part, because this whole podcast is dedicated to entrepreneurship.
And by the way, title of the podcast is "Fly to Your Dream." Oof. Which was an art piece made by your daughter.
My daughter.
Yeah.
Oh, is that?
I wonder where she gets it from, guys.
That's great, man.
It is.
So you entered the accountability portion. We were talking about accountability, and do you need a partner? Do you feel like you need an accountability partner? What do you feel like you need? You said your why?
Oh yeah, definitely, man. It's a team. You can't do it by yourself. People that say that they could do it, they're lying to themselves, because once they get, like, it's easy to say it from the outside, to say no, I could do this. And at the beginning, I thought I could. When I started Pure One, I thought I could do it, by myself. It's like, hey, I got to go clean windows and get the check, and that, man, it doesn't stop there. There's procedures, there's policies, and it depends on where you want to take your business as well.
True.
You could be a mom and pop shop. And you won't be stressed out, because all you're doing is just you're cleaning a window, you're cleaning a house to make ends meet. But that's it. But we're trying to do something different, man. We're trying to make this $1 million company.
Yeah,
and I truly believe that. And the way we're gonna make that happen is accountability. We got to keep ourselves accountable for everything that we do. If we mess up, we got to acknowledge that and learn from that and continue forward. Otherwise, we're just going to remain stagnant. We're going to remain at a level, and it's all about scaling in this whole entrepreneur kind of thing, where it's you're in it 100% or you're not.
Yeah. And
if you're in it 100%, you better damn fucking make sure that you're ready for the knockdowns, man. The client's not happy. You got to go back. One time, real quick, we have some accounts in LA, West Hollywood. The tank was bad. I didn't know that, but my mistake was not double checking my work, and that was a learning curve. That was a learning experience.
You're talking about one of the things that you use for your business, right? What is the tank, and what does it help you do?
A tank is is what we use to filter the water for it to come out pure. That's where Pure One comes from. Pure water. It's a water fed system that we use, and it feeds out through this brush, and it extends up to 3 stories. It feeds out pure water, and we don't have to dry it. But this time the tank was bad, and then the whole me trying to finish and doing everything, it's that little one thing that you just fail to check, because you're so. And this is where I was like, holy shit, I'm not perfect.
Yeah, I
can make mistakes.
Yeah.
But that mistake cost me a lot of money. And I'm not talking $10, man. This cost me $100, $200. In entrepreneur in this world, $100, it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Especially when you're starting off.
Yeah.
But those are one of the things that you need to learn from. And now, man, I take 20 minutes double checking everything, making sure everything is perfect. Talk to the client, make sure they're happy with it, and that's when I leave. That's what I was doing right now. I finished at 5, but no, I got to walk the house. I don't want to go back. Yeah. I want to go back when they're ready to get the windows cleaned again.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Not because they're complaining. Mm-hmm. So,
wow, that's a very that's a good lesson for everybody here.
Oh man,
thank you for sharing that.
There's plenty.
We were going back to the jacuzzi night. He had asked you a question about what is the connection between successful people and
cleanliness.
Being
clean.
And I had actually just finished cleaning my room before that conversation, and So I kept thinking about that. So I kept the cleanliness up. I would wipe down the counter even though it looked clean still, and I cleaned out my car. I just kept cleaning. Like every day, I'm doing more and more cleaning, and it's actually helped reduce the amount of wasted time in the day, because it's the point where you're doing something, you got to finish that, and then it's taking up that time of the day where you're like, okay, I can waste this time, and then you have to make sure that those things you need to get done get done.
Yeah.
And so it was more or less for me was just getting rid of that wasted time. I would sit down and listen to the radio or watch a show really quick.
Yeah. Did you feel productive? Did you feel good about when you were cleaning or after? Did you look at the room differently? Did you look at like everything differently?
I have to think about it differently, because like as you're going through it, you're like, I'm bored of this. Like I want to move on to the next. Like I want to go watch that movie or something.
Yeah.
And so it's the mindset of not caring about the time. Like when you feel like you're wasting time not doing anything, and you go to watch a movie, so you feel like you're accomplishing something by finishing the movie.
Yeah.
Like you're not getting the same accomplishment as, say, cleaning your car.
It's different
because you're going to get consistent accomplishment every time you walk in your car and it's clean.
Yes, that's true.
So there's more long-term accomplishment from that than there is, I finished the whole series. Like, your accomplishment's done at that point.
Yeah.
So
I get that.
It's something that I feel like maybe I've gotten more accomplishment because of consistently seeing those things over and over. Every time you walk into the room and everything's spotless, you're just like, oh yeah.
Jordan Peterson, do your bed, make your bed, right? Is it the same concept?
Clean your room. Yeah,
clean your room. Get that win. There's a bodybuilder like snippet video that I got sent, and so he's jacked, right? And it's just his day in the life of this bodybuilder, and he's cleaning his house first thing in the morning. He's talking about why he's cleaning in the morning. It was just something that was in his life. It was a discipline that they made. But the way he said it was very similar to what you were saying, which was, he says, the first thing I do every day is I clean. Why? Because I feel like I won. I feel like I did something. I accomplished something. I felt successful. I felt that. And he's doing it in the morning. And that's the same feeling I get doing your bed. It's like, yes, I did my bed. Ooh, nice. What's next? Yes. Okay. I cleaned the kitchen. I did the dishes in the morning. The way you're looking at this place when you guys came in, that's how it is every day. This is my office. This is my, like, it's supposed to be like this. If it's dirty, it has to be cleaned. I mean, I vacuum once a week, but even that, you know, I'm taking care of the place. So there is a feeling of success or a win.
Do you think it's kind of like a domino effect?
Yeah. It carries momentum.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, a lot of momentum when you clean. So you just, like you said, you go into the car and then you're like, well, what's next? I want to feel this feeling again. So you're going to go and chase that feeling rather than when you're chasing, like, I just watched a movie and I'm feeling guilty because I should be doing something else. I know I should be doing something else. It's a different kind of feeling. You want to chase that cleaning feeling. And it's true. I want to chase. So then I want to get my workout done after I'm like doing my bed and everything. I want to get my workout. Now I feel like, oh, I want to chase. And the workout's just kind of the same thing because you feel like you're exerting some force when you're cleaning. It's the momentum. It's the momentum.
It's momentum. That's really good.
Yeah.
I also find cleaning to be like meditation.
Oh yeah.
It's because it like, you know, you're focusing on one task, and then your mind's still going crazy about information that you've loaded into it, but you're processing it as you're cleaning. You're still thinking about things, and I mean, for me, it just helps clear out my mind as well.
Yeah.
You know, so I really like that for that reason.
So then meditation, if we go back to it, is there, your question was, is there a relation to being clean and being successful? By the way, you could answer that because Gilbert's inside of successful people's homes all day. He's not in a home of someone who's not successful.
That's right.
There's no way. Unless there's no way. There's no way a non-successful person is going to go pay for someone to clean their windows. Is there a correlation? I believe so to success.
What do you think, Gil?
Oh, definitely, man. Definitely. It's more of the whole. It's not. You're not thinking about it anymore. You're done. It's clean. You can move on to the next one. Subconsciously, we're still thinking about that clutterness that we have in our home, that we have in our car, because you're constantly seeing it. And like Greg, he says, like, after I'm done, it's clean. I go back into my car and it's clean. Yeah. I feel good. But it's the fact that you don't have to worry about your car being dirty anymore. It's you can move on.
You have space for other things, more important
It's
things.
another
Definitely.
thing too, because you're not cluttering other people who are coming there. It's like, how do I explain it? It's like if you're crazy, other people are gonna know and see that you're crazy, and it's gonna throw them off. They're gonna be like, "Oh no, I don't want to be around that." So this is kind of the same thing with the room. You walk in and you're like, "Oh, I don't want to be around it," but it's like you have to be around it.
Can you describe that feeling a little bit more in the context of maybe it being energy?
I knew
that
the energy was
There we
gonna
go.
come up.
Yes,
I'm gonna
there we go.
Scoot over just a little bit. But no, okay. I understand what you're saying.
It's
But
the
that's
feeling.
fun.
Yeah,
Sure.
okay.
So, because it was one thing when I cleaned the room, my son had come home. I've never seen him do this before. I've been trying to get him to do thumbs up and all that. And I was like, Oliver, go look in the room. It's clean. And he goes in there. He goes, "Good job, Daddy." And I was like, I've never heard him say
Whoa,
good job.
yeah, that's cool.
And he was doing the thumbs up at the same time.
Dude.
So it was like double accomplishment. And it's like, it's not even only the accomplishment that you have. It's the same thing when other people come. Because like how you just mentioned, this is how it normally is.
Mhm.
We didn't even have to say anything.
Yeah.
You can tell that it impresses other people.
Yeah.
And so it's that accomplishment on top of it.
Yeah.
So it's just things start stacking up, but it's a different kind of accomplishment than you're used to. And you feel like you accomplished, you're the best player in a video game, or you were the first one to finish the series, so you can be like, you haven't even seen this yet. Like it's not the same kind
It's
of
not the
accomplishment.
same kind of
Yeah.
reciprocation that you're getting back from people.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really interesting.
Yeah. So it is close. Now, I related it cleanliness closer to spirituality. That's how I didn't relate it to success. Although I'm not saying you have to be spiritual to be successful. Although I do think that you need to have some common like grounding, some humbleness, humility. You said meditation. I correlate meditation to spirituality. But a lot of successful people meditate. A lot. And I don't even think a lot of them know that they're meditating.
Right.
I think it's just second nature to some people, and they don't really know why they do things. Like a little talent or gift that they learned and they developed on their own.
Okay, it was kind of working for them, so they just kept doing it. And
yeah,
it just built
exactly.
up,
Oh,
and it became a habit. They don't need to think about.
Same thing like cleaning them. So it's just another habit that we're doing that really pushes and then centers us and keeps us grounded and clean and pure. And that's kind of what we're chasing. And that is like maybe the foundation to developing some more successful habits, like getting to work on time, being punctual, being honest, and these kind of little things that we're doing. So I do correlate cleanliness to spirituality. That can relate to being successful, whatever that means to you. We're not talking about money here. I just want to clarify, because your original question was, is there a correlation between cleanliness and being rich? And for like years now, I stopped thinking rich meant money. I got rid of that. It took me a while to get. So when someone says rich, I'm just that smartest that goes, what do you mean by rich? Can you be rich at heart? Can you be rich in life?
Mm-hmm.
But I know what you meant by, is it money with success, and then that correlation.
Yeah, I think I think I changed my mind on what rich meant a little while ago when we started the whole mastermind.
Yeah.
Because in fact, for me, it started to be more about health, and then about your ability to do things. Like, do you have freedom? Like for me, being rich is to have freedom.
Yes.
For me.
Yeah.
Other people may interpret it in other ways, but yeah.
That's a good way to interpret being rich, with freedom. Yeah, I like that. And then I think we're all trying to chase some type of freedom. And then the one that really gets us down is that financial freedom.
You can't win all of them.
You guys. Hey, baby steps. We're just trying to climb. Yeah.
That's great, man.
That's where I want to be rich.
Which one?
Money.
Just to clarify, make it clear.
But no,
You gotta sacrifice somewhere then, so maybe your happiness will be out the window.
Touching back on the cleanliness and everything, I feel like it's your image. And I tell my daughter all the time, London, you have to and it's not because you care about what people think, because we shouldn't.
Yeah.
But it's the way people are gonna treat you. If you're all you don't
Disheveled
shave, all messed, like people aren't gonna treat you the same, and you're not gonna feel the same. Like I'm at work, man. I got my button-up shirt, my hair, because I want to look good. I want to feel good. Same thing with your cleaning your room. It makes you feel good. Why? Because if somebody walks into your home like Robert here, and they see a bunch of mess, they're not gonna think of him as a successful person, as a rich person. They're gonna be like, damn, this guy, he's lazy. He doesn't take care of himself. And that's what entrepreneurs we try to do is carry ourselves to a standard where if we want our business to be at the top, we have to be at the top.
Yes.
Our house has to be at the top.
Yeah.
The other day I just cleaned my closet. I threw a bunch of stuff out. Now it's like color coded, my jeans, everything. And I go back, and that's me being rich. I don't have this walk-in closet, but at least I have everything organized.
Yeah.
And it's like, if somebody walks in and sees that, man, they're gonna be like, damn, this guy cares.
Yeah.
So
he cares.
I wanted to touch up on that a little bit because Greg and I, a couple episodes ago, we were discussing about the perception of other people, and the whole conversation was around Greg's hat.
So I watched that episode. I watched that one. I was away, and then he didn't wear the hat afterward. He had the hat on like for the first 3 episodes, and after that, it was like.
I still do wear it.
But why do you think the perception of other people is important to your self-image and to what you can accomplish with those people?
Because I feel like you're more confident. You're more confident in yourself.
It starts from here. It starts from within.
Yeah.
You're radiating this.
One of the things that always bothered me about it, and it's perfect that it's happening right now. It just seems like we don't have any of our own identities. Like you guys are talking about me wearing the hat, right? So now we all look the same. We literally all look the same right now. You got the come over. Like there's no personal look.
Group identity,
and that's
bro.
one of the things that like
you want
why I do it, because I see something like that maybe most people don't even see.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the things that like why I do things differently. Like why I chose my car, because I didn't want something that was the same as every person out there. And
except for 300,000 people, by the way.
No, when I got mine, they weren't that popular.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But now because
I wonder why.
But no, it's like things like that. Like I don't want everything to be the same, because then you're just doing the same thing.
You want to go against the grain.
Not completely. No, I don't want to just come up with something and be like, oh yeah, I'm cool because of that. Like I just don't want to do everything because everyone else is doing it.
Here's a quick thing. He was talking about the hat because he had, I guess, and I mean, you guys correct me if I'm wrong. He invited you to a place and he had to tell you what the dress code was like. And he didn't want you wearing the hat. Is that right? Did I get that right? And that's how the hat topic.
It was a circumstance of what was going to happen and where we were going, not because he
was trying to forewarn you that there was a certain dress code or a certain type of appearance that we have to. He's not wearing that polo every day. And some days he's wearing a t-shirt, and I've seen it, and he's relaxed. You could wear that hat here. I don't think it's a problem to wear that hat here. No. I mean, I don't think it's a problem. But circumstance, what he was trying to warn you was you can't always wear that hat because then you're developing your brand. And what we talk about is whether you think you're in a business or not, you are a walking brand. You walk out of your house, you look yourself in the mirror, you're looking at your brand. You were developing your brand. That's what we're talking about, identity. We don't have an identity because we all look like the same brand. He was trying to distinguish his brand. And maybe that whole thing kind of took that away. But is it different not wearing a hat anymore? You do your hair every day? Does it feel different?
I still definitely wear a hat most of the time.
Yeah?
Yeah. Just one of the reasons, too, is laziness, I guess.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
The easiness of it. Just not having to like worry about like when, because most of the time when I go outside, I'm usually outside. Like I'm not going into a place.
Yeah.
So most of the time it's like I don't want to go out where it's windy and then it all looks stupid. Like I'd rather just have a hat on.
Oh, okay. Certain times.
Like, yeah. So majority of the time.
When do you guys think it's okay to wear a hat?
If you're under 30.
Why? Because is it afterward you're trying to hide something, or what?
No, I just that's just my personal opinion.
You don't wear hats, do you?
I did. Yeah, I stopped.
You do sometimes, but usually it's like if you're cleaning or something like that.
Yeah, but or if I'm going to the gym, something like that, because I don't want if I did my hair that day, I don't want the product running down my face, so I wear the hat to hold it
Oh, I see.
Hiking, to cover the sun.
Yeah.
Aside from that, I just try to keep my self-image up.
Okay, so you correlated to the self-image.
No,
he correlated to
it was more
efficiency and product just going with it.
Like that particular instance when we were talking about the hat, we were going to a place. We're going to go to dinner. We're going to dinner in downtown Santa Ana, and I was like, we got into the conversation about him dating, and I was telling him like, well, the way people perceive you is basically you're basically giving yourself like a base level of the people that are going to be attracted to you. You may want to consider not wearing a hat. That way you can open the doors, or for other women, be more inviting.
Yes.
Because women nowadays, they don't just look at you and say, I want him. They look at your appearance from head to toe. They look at your financial background. They look at everything. And if you don't have much of those things that they're looking for, and you don't have the appearance, you're then lowered to a subclass.
Okay.
In their eyes.
Yeah.
So I was just like telling him like, hey, we're gonna go out, like we're gonna go get some dinner. There's probably gonna be some ladies, some potential for you. I would recommend not wearing a hat. Do your hair, you look cleaner. And then that was when we started having the whole discussion.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
I would like for someone to tell me, especially if I have a certain style all the time, which is pretty much this. If I had this certain, if I was going somewhere, I'd like to know, hey, what's the dress code like? Tell me what the dress code is like, so I can be, because I don't want to not offend anybody, but I want to feel confident, and I want to make sure that I chose the right attire for the right place for the right moment, and I don't want to be wearing a hat, So I understand why you had to tell him that. Although, for the girl thing, I agree with it to some extent, but I mean, I met girls with eyeliner on when I used to wear eyeliner. I've met girls with like.
You used to wear eyeliner?
When I was in high school, I was into like Green Day and AFI, but you have to understand, like, that was just my style. That's what I was giving up, and it's not like it didn't affect me meeting people. People still like me. I still got jobs. I still did things. I didn't get fired or anything. But how you come off? So if it came off looking dirty and disheveled, and you look like that, then I would be like, hey man, clean yourself up, fix yourself up, like try to be clean, take a shower, groom, and wear the hat if you want, but make sure the hat's clean. Make sure it's not all like deteriorated.
Basically, like, because we were talking about the type of potential mate that he wants. And when he started describing this potential mate, I was thinking...
Describe it for me real quick, though.
Greg,
come on, Greg. Just describe the potential mate.
I don't have an exact thing. I mean, we talk about it every once in a while, and there's new things I add. But, like...
What's one thing?
I actually think that one of the types is someone who is more... Yeah, it doesn't have to be like a mother, but a motherly type of person. Mm-hmm. Someone who's more nurturing than more aggressive. Someone who doesn't need to experience everything in the world.
Yeah.
Someone who's more
settled,
like motherly. Yeah,
settled.
Yeah.
Okay, I get that. Yeah. So that's not
okay. Wait,
with that.
So you just kind of, but you had a different whole other thing. Like you were talking about, like
sure, there's types of things that I like they might like someone with red hair over brown hair, but like there's not an exact description. And something that I've always said to people are like, oh, what do you care? A lot of the time, it's not based off of looks for me. Most of the time, there has to be something that's attractive. Like, you can't just have, like pimples all over the face or something. It might be something that I'm just like, nah. But, like, they don't have to be a 10 out of 10. Like, they could be a 2 out of 10, and I could probably still like them.
Oh, that's good.
So, for me, not everything has to do with the look.
So, that's why he doesn't mind. He wants someone to meet someone like the way he's meeting someone with that same kind of vibe, which is not about if I'm clean or not, if I look like I have money or not, but just be clean, don't stink.
Maybe what you're asking was about the thing that I said with that I prefer someone to be a friend before jumping into anything, because we were talking about like dating and everything, and I don't really like the whole concept of dating, because it's like you go out, you meet someone, you tell them all about yourself, and then it's done. It's almost as if you were dating, like you were with someone and then you broke up. Like that concept of like you just shared yourself and now it's over. Like, I don't like that feeling.
Mm.
Like, why would I do that in the first place?
Yeah.
I don't think so though, because you never finish getting to know a person.
Not completely no, but like going in, like,
No, they're done.
updating,
They're done,
saying
but-
things like, I don't know. It just it doesn't, like, it's fine when you sit down with someone you just met and you're like, oh yeah, I work at this place, I do that and that, with like no expectation. But like, when I go out for that, there is an expectation.
Yeah.
You're hoping that this is going to last for the long term. Like, that's what I look for. I don't
Because
look for
that's your
like,
expectation.
yeah. My expectation is like, I want to try to grow something.
Right.
If it doesn't work, that's fine. But if you go into it not even trying to get it to work in the first place, then what's the point?
Yeah. How many dates do you have to do before you realize that maybe it can work? You just want to.
I don't think there is a number period. It could be 1, it could be 1,000.
But do you think that you don't like the dates because you're going in it with this pressure, this thing? Like, if I don't,
Sure,
like,
maybe.
what if you meet friends? What if she turns into a friend that she introduces you to your soulmate? But you're not
Could
giving
be.
that chance because you're looking at this person as, I need to take everything from you now. Like, you got to look at this person like, hey, I want to just hang out with this person. If it doesn't look like something, what if they're just a good person and we could be friends? And I could just start meeting people through there, like, hey.
But see, that's my point, though. When you don't have the expectation, when you're going out and meeting people in a normal circumstance, like say I came over your house, you had people over,
Yeah.
and then I passively met this person, and we had talked with no expectation, like we didn't go out on a date on the purpose. Like, you don't go out on a date just be like, oh, I'm gonna meet someone. Like, you go out there and you're like, okay, we may be boyfriend girlfriend down the line or something. Like, you have that expectation. Like, you don't go on Tinder looking for
Sure.
a friend.
You go on Tinder to fuck, too.
Sure, you can go on there for that, but you can also go on to look for someone.
Right.
So it's this thing, like, I didn't come to your house looking for someone.
Yeah.
So making the friendship and then going from there, that's fine. Like, I understand that. But when you go into it purposely, like, say, a Tinder date, or someone, like, is like, oh, you're going on a blind date with this person. Like, you're going into it expecting something.
Yeah.
Where becoming friends, you're not expecting anything at that point.
Well, you're expecting your ways, and she's probably expecting her own ways, because she's probably going in for some dick. You're going in with, like, is she the one? She might be going, I actually just got out of a long relationship and I just want to see what's out there. And then she meets Greg. But you understand, everybody has a different expectation when they're going out on a date, which you just were trying to say something, which you have a different expectation when you go out on a date.
Oh yeah, man. That's the beauty of dating, is just talking to that person and not really expecting anything but having a good time. And after that, then if there's a second date or third date, but I guess you just don't shut somebody down just because it's like, oh no, this can't, the first date sucked. Maybe something happened. I don't know. It's the whole point of it is just getting to know somebody. Like, that's what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
There's other girls that are just trying to fuck, which I'm cool with, but if I meet somebody and it's like, well, we go on a date and we talk, obviously I'm not going to know her whole life story, because that would take forever. But if there is a chemistry, we continue. Not necessarily, you don't necessarily have to fuck. If you do, well, shit, it's cool. If you don't, well, no. But I know that's not what you're looking for. But I feel like you just narrowing it down to that, expecting to get a relationship, I think it's going to be really hard.
A lot of pressure.
A lot of pressure, yeah.
A lot of pressure.
Yeah.
A lot of pressure for you too.
Well, I think it goes back to that mindset I was telling you about the other day, how we were. So they're going to think we're in a jacuzzi all the time. So we were at the jacuzzi.
That was a separate jacuzzi.
I know, these are two different visits. But we were sitting there and I was telling you about how little things bother me. Like, if I were to get up to go sit down, but then you had asked me to turn on the jets, but that wasn't in my process at the time, it would bother me. I wouldn't say anything, but it would bother me. And I think that might be one of the things that, like, the whole dating concept bothers me, because you go in expecting something and it's not going that way. Not like the date turns out bad or something. Like, if we obviously don't click, it's not a big deal. But, like, if we're, like, go for this big thing, you talk, you enjoy, both people seem like it's fine, you go to another thing, what is it called, ghosting? All of a sudden, it just don't talk to you anymore. Like, that stuff is so annoying. Like, I just can't stand that.
Because you feel like it was a waste of time?
Yeah.
But I feel like it's Greg time. It's all Greg time. I feel like you're not giving them the opportunity. You're going into the whole thing where, like, I'm going to find that person. if this girl is the one, I'm gonna. But you gotta level it out, man. It's not. It's
sure. Maybe it doesn't work. Like I said,
but I feel like you're going in with that expectation that they need to please you. That person, that girl needs to meet your expectations. But damn, your expectations are fucking high.
But that is true though, or no one would stay around. If someone doesn't meet your expectations, then you wouldn't be able to.
But you're not trying.
Expectations, they won't.
But you're not giving her an opportunity to meet you halfway, because any little thing that she does, like you said, it annoys you because you're going in with the whole thing like she needs to be perfect to my standard. But not all girls are perfect.
Well, maybe I'm misunderstanding you, but usually the concept is they go silent. It has nothing necessarily to me being like, no, this is done.
What do you think they go silent? Do you think it's because they're done? They're also with the same pressure that you have going on, which is like, oh yeah, he just said something, he just did something, he's not the one. I'm gonna go silent. I'm gonna ghost them. We're done. They're not giving you a chance. The same way like you're coming at it, they're not giving you a chance. And then with two people who are doing that, yeah, man, the pressure's on. Any little mistake and you're fucked. So I get the pressure and I get why you would go out. And what I would think is, if I was dating, fortunately I don't have to date anymore, thank God, is I would make it a joyous moment in your life, because when you are married, you're not gonna experience dating anymore, and you're gonna look back and go, that was funny.
See, there's never been anything that I enjoyed. I've never really enjoyed that whole process. Like the first two relationships that I was in both lasted about 4 years, and I never actually technically even went on like a proper date. Like at the point, like people say going to the movies with your significant others, you take them out to dinner, that's a date. What's the difference than you ate last night at home?
Yeah.
You guys just had dinner, sitting down talking. Like I don't consider that dating. Like that's not a date. Like you're not doing anything out of different.
Yeah.
And so I don't really like I've been on few dates in my entire life, and they've all been within the last year and a half.
And they just
before that, like my first girlfriend asked me out, and it was high school, so it wasn't like we were going places because we didn't drive. And then my second one, she technically also pretty much asked me out. It was like, we're gonna hang out, and then just went from there.
Yeah.
So like I never really had the experience, so maybe it's still that whole like nervous, not understanding it kind of thing, or the whole kind of mindset we were just talking about with accomplishment. I'm viewing it in a different way. Like I'm viewing it as a video game accomplishment where I'm getting accomplishments consistently rather than the long-term accomplishments.
Oh, I see. And I feel like the way he goes at it is a way better accomplishment, because you still leave feeling accomplished, whereas you leave feeling it didn't work out again. Where he leaves going like, hey, that was a good time. I had a good time. Like I may not talk to that person again, but we actually went to a new bar I've never been to, a new restaurant I've never been to. I'm kind of glad I went. And that's it. Like it's just it's an experience in your life.
And you're just trying to jump into too much stuff.
And just to clarify, guys, we're not here this is not an intervention. For
oh yeah.
No, this is the whole concept that why the name is there.
Myself into right now.
Just because I have to think right now, and you guys still also have to think because I'm throwing things back, but it's the whole concept.
And I don't think I don't stop dating. I mean, like date. It's like we go out to new places. We try to get new experiences. Like you said, we go to the same restaurant because we like that restaurant. We don't go to the movies, but we do things. But we try to keep it fun and the experience exciting. I think that's what you're doing when you're going out on dates. Is you're going through an experience. You got to go through something new and fun and exciting with this person. You don't take them to your normal spot. You take them to somewhere new where you can experience. So when you walk out, you're like, yeah, at least I went to that restaurant finally.
See, there's one thing that people have asked me, what do I look for? And I want to build something with someone rather than just keep building with new teams, essentially. So it's like you don't change up your favorite sports team like all the time. Like sure, there's bandwagon people, but like you stick with the team because you want to like experience everything with them. And that's why I would rather, like what I see, like how you just said, we still go out and do things, but you're building something together. I don't see it if you did the same thing with someone else. You're building an experience for yourself.
Could you
going back to the whole accountability concept? Like you want someone else to be there for you.
Could you consider this like now that we're all building a brand in in a business, we would like that we keep with the same team from when we're starting out, but it's not always going to work out. Like some people are going to change, some people are going to want to go off on their own, and we're going to have to keep building the brand no matter what, no matter if the person that we grew up with is still here or not. The brand still needs to be a brand, and we need to continue going forward. And just because it didn't work out with these people, it doesn't mean that we're going to stop.
Yeah, the quarterback can change, but the team name's going to stay the same. The values are going to stay the same. The coach can change. All these people can change in the team, but your bigger focus is the experience of going to the game, of enjoying the game and watching the game and rooting for them and losing and winning. That's foundational. But the team players will change. But I mean, that's the dating life, man. I think it's just different for everybody.
And then,
I don't know.
And then, unfortunately, you live in Orange County, and it's probably one of the hardest markets ever.
And probably the majority of people here don't have the same view as me.
That's right.
No, it's a numbers game, man.
It's
a numbers
You're
game.
that 1%, brother.
There are differences in the way we think. Like, a Satanist is not going to get with a Christian. Like, it's just not going to happen. So there's enough. It's just a simple example.
You can convert a Satanist to a Christian. You can convert a Christian to a Satanist.
You could, but that means that you have to build. So the person has to be willing to build with you.
Yeah. I'm just talking about meeting. If you're trying to meet people, I think there's 350,000 or 400,000 people in Orange County. That's a lot of people, and you're one of those people. That means that there are possibly 150,000 women, if there's half, they're here in Orange County, just in Orange County. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people to meet, and you just kind of.
Yeah, I know a lot of it's also me. I don't like it's weird to approach people. Like, even if it was a like you're not expecting anything from someone. Like, if you just walk up and you talk to someone on the street, say, "Hey," like that's as far as most people go. Like,
if you said that to someone, I'd be like, "Hey, like, hey, why would you do that?"
Why is that weird? You're walking by someone on the street. You're just gonna walk by and not even look at them, not acknowledge their existence. That's also weird.
I sometimes do it. I'm walking by and I see them and I'm like, am I gonna say something? No, yeah. If it's in my neighborhood, I'll be like.
It's like I go hiking and there's always these like girls there that are by themselves, and I'm just like, I should say hi and start talking to them. That's weird.
Yeah, I would refrain from that because they're not going.
So, like,
there,
what's the difference between that and say walking around in the same bar?
It's interest. It's interest in somebody. If something interested me, I would spark up a conversation. Didn't matter if it was a girl or a guy. I'd spark up a conversation.
Yeah. So the interest was hiking.
Yeah.
We're both hiking by ourselves. Hey, how's it going? Want to go hike together? Like, that's weird.
Yeah, it is weird because you just.
But that's interest. That's the same thing. Like, that's what I don't think I understand.
What about hiking dates?
What about it?
Like, you haven't done a hiking date?
No. How do you do that?
What do you mean? You go meet somebody at Peters Canyon. Like, if you're gonna set up a date, why meet someone at a bar?
I don't meet people though. That's the thing. That's one of the issues also that I have.
Man, Greg, you have a lonely future ahead of you. That's all I can say. That's
you never know. You might meet someone the way you're doing things, and we cannot say if it is or not. That's
what I said. Like, it could be one or it could be that.
Yeah.
There's always that girl, man, that's gonna boss you around because I think that's what you like. You like people telling you what to do because from what you said,
it's easier.
They asked me out. You're expecting girls to take control. And there is some girls, but damn, dude, you gotta have some trouble. You're gonna have some trouble, man. I've been through that where it's like they're controlling and you don't want that. You
think you want it.
It's balance. It's a balance.
You only want it at certain times.
You know how they always say that you are always trying to like date your parents or something like that?
Oh yeah, like you're attracted to like one of your father, your mother, or something.
It's super funny that you get said that because my mom hasn't been working and my brother came over and was like, there's this job that I just found out about that would be perfect for you. All you do is you go on the phone and you talk to them and you boss them around. Non-sexual way. Like, there are people who do that, but like some people just want to be told to do things. Like, clean your room, go to the grocery store, get this. Like, people just want to be told. My brother's like, you got to do that.
What is that, like an accountability?
I think it just sparked my imagination.
Someone who works really well with authority can take. And someone who's really good at giving authority. So it's just like a personality thing. Your mom has that personality?
It tells you to do everything.
Oh, yeah?
Like, get that. Pick this up. And when we're walking out the road, turn off the light. Oh, wait, turn around. Get me something to drink.
So is that what you want?
No, that's crazy. But just because based on
I mean,
what you were saying right now
Your mom
is
listen to this.
that you would want someone to take more control, and so that's why I was thinking that that's a saying that I've always heard before, that you're always trying to date one of your parents.
Yeah, and have you dated people that are kind of like your mom or your dad? Like, did you see some things, or are you just saying like?
I mean, maybe the bossing thing. There's nothing that I necessarily saw that I was like, oh, that's just like my mom, or that's just like my dad. Nothing that I've ever thought like that. But I'm sure if you guys looked at it, you'd be like, that's totally his mom. So it's like something maybe passively I'm not thinking about.
Yeah.
Might be
It's
there.
a subconscious thing. Yeah.
So maybe come from the conditioning, from your the childhood. Because I think that's the one way to explain that whole theory of trying to date your parents.
Because you feel comfortable.
Is your dad very passive? When it comes to things like that,
he's very aggressive.
Okay.
Like he can get mad really quickly.
Okay.
He knows what to do.
Relationship wise.
But yeah, he probably gets bossed around mostly.
Okay. He's more like, just whatever. I don't care. Just
Yeah.
Okay.
But I drew a blank on what I was gonna say right there.
Well,
I'm just like Marco there.
Hey, the roast of Greg is over.
So
I'm sweating a little bit.
That was that was intense, guys. But I still don't know what girl you're looking for.
Exactly.
Because it's all over the place, man. It's like, but for me, it's like, hey, man, like if I want to build an empire, man, and I want somebody to help me build that empire, and do I want them to be tense? Yeah, of course. But you never know, man. But you won't find that out until you go on dates with that person. You get to know her. You get to know her likes, or she gets to know your likes, and then you see if you guys are compatible or not. And it's okay to say, hey, you know what? We tried. It's not working out, and I think that's better than to ghosting somebody because obviously you don't like that. So to me, it's like, look, let's hang out. I don't feel like you're wasting your time if your end goal is to find somebody to spend the rest of your life with. It's all an investment, man, and it takes time. Just like in business, it takes time to build a great company. It takes time to build a great relationship. When you're just cutting it short, you're not giving that opportunity for you to find a relationship.
If this was business and that approach, that's like a very hard networking approach, which is get together. What can we take from each other? What can you give me? Can you going to buy my product? Am I going to buy your product right now? Let's go. I prefer the long-term investment, which is I don't know what I can get for you, but what could I help you get? What can I do for you? And with that approach, it kind of opens up the door to a more stable foundation of a relationship. And then maybe eventually they can do something for me back. But I think it's more on that line. Like if you look at it in terms of just really trying to experience something at the end of the day, just going through another experience with somebody, another human being in this world. I think that's all fun in that sense at all, like in any way. But so we all have our own intentions though. Right. But I think if you just keep trying, you're going to meet somebody. It's a numbers game. If you date every single week, once a week, you're bound to meet someone great. It's a numbers game. But if you date once every 3 months, once every 6 months, it's not going to happen.
Once every 4 years,
it's not going to happen.
I've heard this is a thing too, because I obviously haven't dated enough. But now with like Tinder and Bumble, there's girls out there that do that purposely to save money. They'll go out with someone like 2-3 times a week, so that the other person pays for dinner and they get free dinner.
So I tell them, take him to the hike, take him to Peter's Canyon, man. There's
you got to start off with a cup of coffee, man.
Coffee.
That's what I've always done because it's something that it's more comfortable.
I actually think there's too much pressure with coffee too. I think sitting down at a table and being like, well, we have our coffee now, and should we? The hiking and walking together. Not only are you just giving yourself better, you can if you go on a walk or a hike, I feel like you can communicate better as you're just kind of talking. You're not looking at each other expecting something like, are you good? No, you're walking with somebody, and at the end of the day, you got a good workout. So a hike, and it's free.
That's great advice for a married guy.
Your blood's flowing, so you're not as stupid.
Yeah, exactly.
You probably want stutter.
Yeah, exactly.
And when you're sweating, it's fine because
you're walking. Pressure. There's no pressure. It's really nice.
Yeah.
I mean, there's different ways, different variations.
Yeah.
But that was nice to know about your guys' dating experience. And I'm just so fortunate, Marco, you and I, so fortunate to not have to be in this world, to have to date.
Hey man, it's
Hey,
a fun world,
make sure
but
that
it's
it
also a
stays,
lonely
though.
one.
It's a lonely world.
It's a
Because
lonely road.
it could end at any minute.
It's true. I am just grateful that I even have this opportunity right now. If it gets taken from me, I mean, well, that would be whatever happens, happenstance, right? But I'm just happy to be in it right now. I'm just grateful to not be lonely.
Hey,
You know,
what?
and it is a
Gilbert's
lonely
never
world.
lonely. We're never lonely. We always got ourselves.
It's true. And I guess I didn't really feel lonely, but I do like to be in a relationship.
Like
You
we
know,
talked
I really
about,
enjoy it.
like me not being in the relationship anymore. I don't miss the person. I miss what was there.
Yeah.
The family concept, the building something with someone, the expecting more to be there when you're done with what you're doing, whether it be work or school or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So and like you lost that. So now you yourself can't give that to yourself anymore. Like someone else has to give that to you.
Hmm.
So it's something that you're missing, and maybe that's something that I'm not getting from the dating.
Okay.
I feel like I've gone through what you're feeling because I was married for 4 years, and after my divorce, until this day, I've been separated for like what 6 years now. I do feel that emptiness of having being able to sit down with my family on a Sunday night, having dinner, watching a movie, stuff like that. That's inedible. That's something that's gonna happen. What I've learned to do is to look at myself first, take a step back, because everybody longs that, man. Everybody wants that, and especially when we're getting older, we're not getting younger. So our expectations of the way we want to meet somebody, the way we want to date somebody changes. When we're young, we're just fucking around. I'm just fucking. Hey, let's do this. Let's hang out. But I'm 33, man. If I do find myself talking to somebody and it's like, hey, this could be something, then obviously, I'm gonna put my heart into it. But I gotta know myself. I got to take a step back and learn about myself and what is it that why I think things didn't work out with my ex, my previous relationship. What happened? And one of those is it's a balance. You don't want somebody that's going to boss you around, but you don't want somebody that wants to be bossed around. It's all a balance. And I had to figure that out after getting a divorce. But if I didn't take a step back, and now that I know myself and the type of person that I want in my life, I'm not dating everybody because I know what I'm looking for, because I know myself, and it's like, hey man, I want somebody that's gonna help me build an empire, somebody that's gonna be there next to my side, hustling, getting things done. I don't want somebody to boss me around, and I don't want to be bossing somebody around. It's all a balance, but that's what I'm looking for. But I get you, but in my opinion, take a step back, man, and look back at your life. What is it that you want? Why is it so hard for you to find somebody? And it starts from yourself. It's like, damn, like what type of person am I? And maybe you could be wrong, and then your whole mindset changes to where like, oh shit, like maybe I should.
Yeah, those kind of things are so interesting to me when you think about it. Like some people end a big relationship and then their life is over and they the rest of their life is screwed. And you think about it, let's say 4 years and they're 24. They've lived more years without that person than with that person. It's like, why is it such a big part of the next 40 years
Because
of their life?
they haven't accepted the fact that it's over.
Yeah.
And they haven't really take a look at themselves as a person.
Mm-hmm.
They're still stuck in that relationship, man. They're still stuck in the past.
Mm-hmm.
I was stuck in the past for 2 years.
I'll say longer.
Longer, huh?
Longer.
Yeah, man. I was I was an idiot. But you know what? That comes with life, man. And I look back and yes, I might be embarrassed at the things that I've done. But without those things and looking back at those things, as like shit, like next, if I'm ever in a relationship again, I'm not gonna do those mistakes. I'm a better person now. I'm trying to grow, and I feel like if you're having a hard time doing that, maybe you should take a step back and look at yourself. And it's like, hey, what type of person do I? And you said it earlier. Like I want to like kind of date like my mom, like a mom kind of figure, you know, and that's a good step, you know. But take it from there and be like, okay, do I really want somebody to boss me around like my mom, or do I want somebody that's compatible with me, that's willing to do the things that I like, even if she doesn't like them, and I'm willing to do the things that I don't like for her to be happy, and that feel like that's a balance. And seeing these guys' relationship, I feel like they do that pretty well. Where like Robert, you know, he does things that, you know, he might not like, but it's what Itzel likes too, and same vice versa. You know, it's just it's being open, man. Being open, being accepting of the person, and not trying to change that person, but accepting them.
Mhm.
And you know, and you guys, I mean,
I had to do what he's doing while in a relationship with itself.
mhm.
I had to learn about myself while in a relationship. And I will say that is so much pressure. I give it to itself for putting up with that kind of, everything, that the kind of pressure that I was putting on, because it was me. So I'm trying to figure out, you have an opportunity to learn. So even when you thought you were over it, you weren't. Same thing with me. Even though I thought I'd grown and I'm like, okay, I'm a better husband now. I'm still like, no, there's still things I want to fix, that I want to correct, that I can do this, or I'm being inconsiderate here. I'm not really being the best friend here, because we're friends. At the end of the day, I mean, it's not my wife or husband. We're friends. She could easily leave. You guys can easily stop being friends with me. So cultivating the relationship is probably the most important part for me. But how am I going to cultivate a relationship that I don't even know myself? So I just learning about myself while in the relationship, which you probably going through the same thing. That's tough.
Yeah, I can attest to that too.
Yeah.
It's I guess it's it's just a process that's never really finished.
Mhm.
And I think you, like Gilbert mentioned, it's something that you're gonna keep discovering for the rest of your life. It's like you're never gonna start learning about yourself. Um, but I wanted to kind of bring it back a little bit to Gilbert, and it's how was it that you um, arrived to this decision of having or wanting to have somebody that you can cultivate an empire with? Like, how did you get there? You had to date. You had to put yourself out there. Um, what put you on that path, basically?
Well, like I said, it's learning about myself. It's understanding who I am and what type of person I am, and that's the type of person that I am. I want to build an empire, you know, because my parents don't have an empire, and I want to change that. And if I'm dating somebody that doesn't want that, doesn't have goals, it's boring. I'm not gonna get anywhere, you know. But if I find somebody that's, you know, and that's what I'm looking for, somebody that has goals, not necessarily in a business type thing, you know, they have their own goals, but it's that ambition of moving up. That's what, you know, like. And when I discovered that, you know, I was still stuck on the whole, you know, like family, you know, and this and go to work and go home and family, blah 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 blah. But now I'm like, no, man, life is not about that, because we live once. We only have one life, man. And if I'm gonna waste my time trying to like be in relationships where it's like it doesn't work, then why be in a relationship like that? You know, it's like for me, I'm by myself right now and I'm happy because I'm doing the things that I love. And that it's like this the girl that's gonna be in my life, she's gonna merge into that. I don't have to stop for that person.
I see.
You know? It's like she's gonna move in and we're gonna be in the same lane, going the same speed. You know, and I feel like I had to like I kind of like realized that after my relationship, you know, because she obviously wanted something different, and that's obviously why we're not together. So moving forward is like, hey, like I'm gonna date around. I'm gonna talk to girls. I'm gonna see what's out there, and maybe from that, it's like, hey, we're clicking. You're trying to build the same thing. All right, let's move forward. But the moment I see that she's not, you know, trying to move forward, it's done. And I do tell them, like, look, like let's just, you know, like I still have that whole, you know, let's have fun. Let's have fun. But you know that this is not gonna go anywhere, and I'm okay with that. But if I do find somebody and you know, I'm gonna give it my all, man. I'm gonna because we're all prone to a heartbreak. We're all prone to being cheated on and what it is. But if you're always thinking about that, you're never gonna meet that person. And for me, it's like, hey man, I already went through that, and I know what it feels for somebody to hit your ego, for somebody to crush you down, for somebody to fucking think that you're nothing. And I already went through that, so that made me stronger to the point where, like, if I meet somebody and I'm gonna give my all, and if that doesn't person 5 years from now doesn't work out, I'm a better person and I'm stronger. And when I was going through my whole separation, I went to talk to this pastor, man, because when you're going through that, you're trying to like find all these means to for them to make you feel better, but nobody's gonna take that pain away from you, But I went to this pastor and he's like, look, I've been married with my wife for 30 years. I'm like, and we're happy, but I give my heart a little space because anything could happen. She could have a change of heart, and when that happens, I'm gonna go to that little space because that's gonna give me some oxygen, some breathing. Where like me, it was all my ex-wife, all this, so I didn't have any breathing space. Now I do, man. Now it's like, hey, if she cheats on me, then you know what?
It's still gonna hurt.
It's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt.
Your recovery will be a little.
And I'm not gonna do stupid shit like when I was younger. Yeah. But I feel like that's all growth. And I feel like that comes with the experience of going through shit like that. And same thing with business, man. Like you just don't start off at the top. You start in the trenches, man. You start where it's like, and we've all been through it, man. Where like, what the fuck are we doing?
We're still there.
Like, what is this? What is this? What is this new territory that we're embarking on? And it's like, it's not easy. But it's the same thing with relationships, man. It's the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Same thing.
It's like there's no difference.
Yeah, I would say that like the perception of it, it's enjoy the process would be the best.
Yes,
the best advice.
Fuck.
I think that might be one of the things that I've always thought about is why do I need to think about the good situations? Because the good situations take care of themselves and it's fine. You have to prepare for bad situations. Like it's the only time you have to prepare for anything. So maybe I think too much about the bad situations and that's it. And so I don't
like the negative consequence of what would happen.
Yeah, because like I always did that with work and it made sense. Like why are we sitting around? Like I used to be a general manager of a restaurant. Why are we sitting around talking about a hamburger that we want to change the size from a half pound to a quarter pound? Like why are we doing this when we have issues with how our pork is being made, our ribs are being made? Like, well, why are we sitting here talking about something that's fine and good? And we need only to be thinking about the bad because it's the only thing that needs to be fixed.
Fixing all the problems.
Yeah. And so that's the mentality that I've always had because the good is good. Like you don't have an argument.
But you gotta cultivate the good as well.
Yeah.
You can't let that shit die.
Yeah, your golden goose. So if the burger is your most important seller in that restaurant and someone's trying to change it or something needs to change, that's a real important thing. That's a real important thing for that restaurant to change that burger. So yeah, it could be your golden goose that you're not feeding, so I mean it depends on what that is. So I don't know, but looking at it as a glass half full or glass half empty, I mean I think it's important to look at it both ways a little bit, and like you said, look at the bad and then look at the good. So
the yin and the yang, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
so that's Greg's intervention with women.
Yeah, I think we got some.
So now that I want to kind of bring it back a little bit to, it depends on the time. I don't know if you guys are still okay with it.
Yeah,
bring it back a little bit to the business aspect of today's conversation. So if you can tell us a little bit about your business and what you're doing. I know Gilbert already shared with us about Window Clean.
Oh yeah.
Okay. What is it that you're doing? And
that's a good question.
How's that going?
It's going really good, actually. What I'm doing is I am working on marketing, administration, bookkeeping, accounting. I'm in a little bit of everything that has to do with business. And really, it's project development. So if we broke down the business, everything as a project, are we going to switch from half pound burger to quarter pound burger? That's a project. Why? Because After you switch, you still have to go and now change the order up. Then now you got to change the menu up. Then now you got to market it differently. Now you got to charge differently. So now the bookkeeping changes and all the cost changes and what's the profit and what's the loss. I like that, and that's what I like to do. I like to, if Pure One, my client, we work together. If he has a project that he's going to need to work on, let's just say it's a new uniform. Does it fit the brand? Can you afford it? Okay, yes. We got the yeses. Now we're breaking it down more. All right, where are we going to get the shirts at? What kind of shirts are you want to be wearing? Do they need to be athletic? Are you going to be sweating in them? Are you not? Do they need to be professional? I like to break everything down, and that's why my company is Development Project, because I cannot just be an accountant. I cannot just be a bookkeeper. Sorry, I cannot just be a marketer. I can't just do social media for the rest of my life. I cannot look at something and go, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life, except, and the only exception is I like to be in business. And I'm going to do it for as long as I like it. And for the most part, I've always liked it. So that's kind of what I do. I'll put a project together. He has an idea. I have an idea. And we work on that project. I don't know what the company is. It's almost like a marketing consulting, business consulting.
Mm-hmm.
Research. I like research. I like the learning part. I don't know what it is. It's not a career thing that's just one track. So I don't know how to give you what it is. Like I can't just say we window clean. It's just so much more than that, because I haven't fully gotten rid of the extra stuff. I don't have an employee to do all my little things, so I'm doing everything now. Like he's an estimator, a window cleaner, he's the driver, he's the manager, he's the supervisor. We're the jack of all trades. We're doing everything. I'm doing everything right now. I'm just trying to pay the bills right now, doing what I really love to do. And I figured out a way. There's a formula that I found out. I solved the formula that I've been searching for, and now I'm just doing that.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
That's really what WISE is, and I'm still learning, still figuring it out. So
that's really cool.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing it for?
My whole life, man. My whole life. I'll tell you that, because it didn't just start when I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be WISE started a year ago. That's just the name. The name doesn't matter. Robert Nunez started 30 years ago.
Yeah.
So just even being younger, I've been collecting things and reading and learning, and then wanting to, go look for gold, and always wanting to collect things because I knew they'd be worth something, then getting into the nitty gritty of it, and wanting to it always was about a business. It always was about information and value, or solving a problem. And then as I got older, then I'm working now at 16, working at Dippin' Dots, right at the mall.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't take the job like I'm just going to serve. No, I took the job really serious. So I started creating things at Dippin' Dots. I started not because I wanted to be in charge, because I really liked where I'm at and I wanted to create it better. I wanted to fix their place up. I saw an inefficiency in how they were managing the employees. I just wanted to create a better structure. So we're up. And through that, deep down, I got everybody's shift, because it was just a bunch of 16-year-olds working who didn't need to work. They were just working. So I took the shifts. I like that. And now I have the shift. Then it was same thing when I worked at Ralph's. I wasn't looking at Ralph's. I just want to be a bagger. I was like, who does the bookkeeping? Who sits up there in that room? And it was the name of this lady. I want to do that. I want to go wonder how she knows everything. I want to learn about all these. I want to learn about the different departments and what they do. That's at 16. Then it's cars, and it's keeping it clean. And then it's like, I enjoyed learning about cars and like valuable cars and classics and all these things. Like everything was like a business inspiration to it. Then I worked at my dad's at 17, and he had his own company. So there I started developing my own nature, my own little manufacturing process. I was trying to shave off 3 seconds, 10 seconds, 30 seconds off the time. Now, at the time, I didn't really realize what my dad was fighting me for. He was telling me, hold on, slow down. And the reason why was because what if I was trying to rush window cleaning and leaving low quality work?
Mm-hmm.
He had to send out work that was low quality. because I was trying to make it faster. But I knew that if I could make it faster, we would figure out the quality. And we would save money. We would save time. Because for me, I thought every time I shaved off 30 seconds off one lens, and let's say I was doing 100 lenses a day, how much time am I saving throughout the year? How much cost can we use that to go put toward maybe a new machine? Maybe something. I was always thinking this way. And then the frustration always grew. Why weren't they doing what I wanted? And that was really frustrating to me. So then I leave there. And then I went into real estate. And the same thing. I was trying to change the real estate game. I was trying to make everybody do it online. I wanted it to be done online. I thought it was such an inefficient system. I still think it's an inefficient system. And if anybody who's a real estate person listening to this, I still believe that someone needs to be knowledgeable, that you need to go with someone who's knowledgeable, trustable, reputable, because it is a big time in your life to be putting all your money. I agree with that. But what I don't agree with is you're a listing agent who charges 3% on a $1 million home that might sell in a week. And I like the business aspect of it, but for me, coming into it, I didn't care about that listing agent making $30,000 in a week. I didn't care about the money. What I cared about was if you had a home that was $1 million, could I connect you with a website that was reputable, that had full of knowledgeable people? And now we have Redfin, who's trying to sell homes that way. And although I still think you need a reputable person because you're going to have a lot of questions.
I've actually heard about Redfin.
Yeah. So you're going to have a lot of questions. So I think if Redfin goes and gives people enough, so that's my process. So going into real estate, then I leave real estate because I'm just not happy with, I'm like, I don't want to sell homes for the rest. That's not what I want to do. So then I have to break away from that, go into a law firm. I did the same thing there. I'm working at a law firm, legal assistant. I'm just plugging away documents. Didn't care about it for a while until I thought, how can I make this document get sent out faster? They have templates, but what can I do to speed up? So as I started doing that, you start to free up the space in your time, then they start to fill it up. Especially if you're contracting employees and you're paying them per hour and they're sitting there with their feet up because they ran out of things because they figured out a faster way. You're going to go, here you go, do this. And now you got things now you're figuring out. Then I want to say it wasn't about the work. It was about the people. And then I wanted to help the people. I wanted the people to have good benefits. I wanted them to get paid good. And I also wanted all of them to want to work there. I didn't want people around me who hated their job because then that would make me feel. And unfortunately, I couldn't change all those things. Why? I'm not the owner of the company. I'm not the CEO. I kept looking at the CEO going, come on, please think like me. Please think like me. And I know you might not, you might know more than me, but just give me that. Unfortunately, when you're working for somebody, you're not going to get that. You're not going to get that unless you're the CEO and you can make the biggest changes. Then that left to me breaking away, having my breakdown, figuring out what the fuck. All these things that I told you, it took me 3 days on a mountain to figure this out. It took me 3 days to think about my entire life from 0 to 30, which is when I was up there. I went through each year one by one, and then I realized, oh, beneath all this, real estate agent, legal assistant, manager, grocery clerk, Ralph's, Dippin' Dots, ice cream attendant, beneath all that, there was something, a calling. There was something deep within me that I knew I really had a passion for and I really loved. That's what WISE is. I brought all those things together, and then I said, I want to work with people I want to work with, people who show and have a talent, and I know they're going to go places. Those are who I want to work for. I don't want to work for someone who just says, oh, no, I just want to make a buck. I don't want to work for you. I want to change the game. I want to change the Pure One game. I want to change the window cleaning game. I don't want to be like everybody else. So my whole thing is now I find people who are the same like me, who have this passion for it, but in a different field. And I can get to help them and they get to help me. And that's what WISE is. And that's where it's kind of all cultivated. So I've always been doing it. Never.
Wow.
Stopped.
That's
we are all doing it.
It's great.
You're doing it. You're doing it. One thing that we talked about, Gilbert, I asked Gilbert, hey man, what did you want to do when you were like 18, 16? Because we all wanted to do some. I wanted to be a tennis coach when I was in high school. So in high school, I joined tennis. My dad had practiced tennis with us when I was in my like JV time. I didn't think I could be as good as the number one, but I always thought I want to make him number one because I know I can train that guy. So I read the books. I have the books, tennis coaching books. I did drills. I taught a lot of people how to play tennis, and a lot of them became better than me. I am totally fine with that. I actually relish that they can become better than me if I can. That means I'm a good coach. So you think about that. What did I always want to be? I didn't want to be the tennis player. I wanted to be the coach. I wanted to be the mentor. I wanted to be the guy that learned and said, if he's the tennis player, he doesn't have time to be, how do you do? No, he needs the inspiration, the motivate, the accountability partner. I want to be these things. I always wanted these kind of things. So I just put them all together and I said, okay, well, what fits into this category? And sure enough, Wise business consulting and development projects allows me to do everything and get better as I go. And then if he wants an amazing video put together, because I can only put like a really like low end budget version with what we can afford. But if he wants a video, I want to be the guy who's controlling that video. I want to hire the videographers. I want to hire the people who have talent. I'm not going to hire some low grade person. My client is paying for something good. He needs to focus on getting good windows clean. He did not be like getting together a commercial. That's my job. And he's going to pay them out. And I'm going to make sure that these guys put their whole heart into it, like I'm putting into it. So I like that. I like the fluidness and I like the control of that. I like being in control of my life. So we talked about freedom. That's true freedom for me. It's not really financial, although if I keep spending money the way I'm spending money, I'm doing a lot better now. But if I keep doing that, I'm always going to be in a position of just being chained up and not being able to do this. So now this taught me how to be financially free because I want to do this forever. How can I do this forever? Oh, yeah, that's right. Stop spending your money on alcohol. Oh, yeah, that's right. Stop spending your money on food. Stop going out. Stop doing this. Because if you continue doing that, you're not going to be able to do this forever, Robert. What's more important? I'm like, this. Then the financial freedom comes in and now it's forcing me to do that. And I really like that process. It's more natural.
That's beautiful.
But like I said, he wanted to be something when he was younger. You said you wanted to be in the military.
Oh, yeah.
And then there was another. He wanted to be a fireman. And I thought, hey, how interesting, man. You're in houses all day. You're climbing ladders all day. You actually look like a fireman, but doing the opposite with water, like cleaning. You're still with water. You still kind of subconsciously became a fireman.
That's insane.
The way he's running his company is like the military. There's a lot of discipline that we're putting into it. When he's trying to train or he's trying to coach, he has a lot of good coaching, training, disciplinary level skills that he's implementing in his company. Ironically, he's developing a very similar organization because the military could be very disciplined and they could build people because he doesn't just want people to come and clean for cheap for him. He wants real dedicated people that will follow him and follow the company. I think there's a subconscious, like on a foundational level, we're all kind of doing it. So you're finding that in you, and you'd have to go look back at your history. Whatever you're doing with coding, whatever you're doing with that, there's a reason below the coding, below the name of the coding. There's something going on why you're gravitating to it. And if coding is not what you want to do, right? And maybe in a year from now, you're like, I don't want to do coding forever. That's because that's not really the name. You didn't care about the name. You cared about what was happening in that. What energy was coming out, what creativity was coming out, and that you can relate to 10 years back. Like, why was you were managing a general restaurant? You had jobs to do. You had to manage certain people. You had to do certain things. But beneath that, you had a lot of thoughts. You had a lot of like, something got you up, something got you there. What was that thing that just kept you? Unless you really hated your job, then there's nothing there for you.
It's a little bit of both.
Okay.
I was reading an article. I don't remember what it was about, but in it had this part about learning more about like how you do things or why you want to do things, and it was go ask someone else to describe you.
Yeah.
Because you have those things that you do when people are watching, that you know you do, but you don't pay attention to those things that you do when people are watching.
Yeah.
So like if we all chose to describe Gilbert right now, we'd probably all say something pretty similar that he's like, wow, that's the first thing they think when they think the word Gilbert. So I wanted to do that exercise with a bunch of different people just to see those little things, because like there can still be some hurtful things, but that's how people are seen. Like that's what you're actually giving out.
Yeah.
And you may not understand that.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's very interesting. So just a question, like you said you climbed a mountain and you were up there for 3 days. Like, how was that process? How was it in writing? Was like for somebody who's listening, who may want to do the same thing for themselves? What was it that got you up there? How did you go about that process?
All right, straight out, death. Death was the only thing I thought. Okay, so what I thought was I needed an ego death. I needed the ego death. I needed to get rid of everything. I needed to stop looking at this TV or this computer and these things that we're having. I need to get off my phone. I need to stop reading for a little bit. I needed to break away, and I just couldn't do that here.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't think that if I got a hotel down the street and did that for 3 days, it would be the same. I needed nature. I needed to connect back with my core, with myself a long time ago. So when that came, it was just more, I'm going through something. I don't know what I need, but something is telling me Jim Carrey was on Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee with Jerry Seinfeld.
Oh, that's right.
In that episode, it's a really good episode. Yep. In that episode, the next day, Jim Carrey was going to go on a 10-day silent retreat. I had seen that episode years prior. So when this thing came up, I had some money and I was like, what could I do? I don't want to go on a retreat with a bunch of people. I have this social thing. I didn't want to do that. I really needed to be alone. I didn't want to see other people. I didn't want to see them be silent, because then I'm just thinking about them and worrying about their feelings and their energy, and I'm like flowing with them. Right. And if there's 10 people going to a silent retreat, there's a lot of fucking energy there. There's a lot of energy that I probably couldn't escape. I had thought about that. What was the next best? My homemade retreat. Airbnb, got a cabin up in the woods. Scheduled that 2 months ahead of time, because I knew I was going to do it. It was like in June 30th, which is actually coming up in 2 weeks. Is my year anniversary for that. I quit my job, did the whole thing, and I knew that was coming up. But I was still going. When I went up to the mountain, Itzel dropped me off, and she stayed one night. She ended up leaving the next morning, and I was there for 3 days. It was 3 days and 4 nights. And the rules were this. I already had developed the rules in my mind. I already knew what I wasn't going to take. There was going to be, number one, there was no hot water. Not that there was no hot water at that place, but I wasn't allowed to use hot water. The reason why I chose that one was because I wanted to humble myself. I wanted to see what it would be like if we took one of the biggest things that we do every single day, which is experience warm water. Third world countries that are really bad, and even in certain areas, they don't have hot, warm water. Even warm water. They're freezing temperature water. So that was another one. The other one I wanted to get rid of was no reading. I didn't want to distract myself with someone else that had something else to say. I wanted to be my own author those 4 days. No phone. Shut off completely. No, I can't text. No phone. I wasn't even allowed to grab. It was in. I only kept it with me in case something happened that I needed to turn it on and call somebody, but I had it shut off. The other one was no speaking. I wasn't allowed to say anything. I wasn't even allowed to go, or like, fuck. I wasn't allowed to do that. There was absolutely zip. It was, my mouth was closed. And then the fifth one, which I'm completely blanking on, but it was no food. Fasting. So I fasted the 4 days, although I could drink water. I wasn't allowed to eat anything. It was food, the hot water, those all. So 5 of those things, and that was it. Get to the mountain. I'm sitting there. First day, really, 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 really tough. Everything was in here. Second day, even harder. Third day, I was about to break. That's when I started to feel every spiritual thing. I had been connected with the birds for a moment. I started to understand the birds' process and their life and their discipline. The sun rose, they came out, they searched for food. The sun went down, they went back home, they're back. came back and over again. And I'm just looking at, and they know now. Now they know I'm there because I'm feeding them stuff. I saw a deer like run by and I went, whoa. I had caught myself saying it. And I was like, okay, forgive myself. I fucked up. I said something, come back, don't say anything anymore. But you see how we're quick to trigger when we see something? Are we quick to get angry? Are we quick to react? Are we quick to buy that food? Are we quick to spend money? I realized my reactions to things. I told myself don't speak, and yet I did. Because of something that startled me, something that came, and I said something. We don't have that much control than we think. We're very quick. So the learning process. Then at the mountain, I had so much time to just sit, stare at the tree, stare at everything, think about life, think about my life. Then it became more than me. Then my ego was gone. And then it was like, God, whoever you are, whatever this is, whatever you created in this world, what am I doing? And the biggest thing that I took away from those 4 days was we're all going to suffer. That suffering is inevitable. Suffering is life. That's why we're here. And it's just so sad to think, but it is true. I thought of those birds and I thought, they're suffering. They don't have shelter like the way I have shelter. I have a bed. I'm sleeping in a nice cabin. I still had a bed. I didn't take that away from me. Imagine if, God, please don't take my bed away. I can't take anymore. Please don't take any little bit more. I'm about to break. I'm going to snap. But thank you for the bed. Then there was gratefulness. I started developing these things, these habits. But look, even till this day, I can forget them. And I have to go back to that moment and think, yeah, I guess this is life. This is suffering. This is what. So my whole purpose to go up there was to really just have a death, to get rid of this old Robert who used to think this way. And then I broke down from the moment I was born to now. So because I had a lot of time, I was able to break down, okay, what happened when you were born? What was going on? All right. So I was born 1988. It was May. It was in Orange County. It was in Anaheim. Who had me? It was my mom. How old was she? Oh, she was 17. Where was my dad at the time? Oh, I don't know if he was there or not. My mom didn't say he was there. He was out doing his things. Okay, who was around my mom? Who was around me? Because you're still a human being. Something's around you. Then it was like 1. Where were you at 1? Oh, we were living in that house with that family. 2. Oh, we were here. 3 o'clock. Oh, my mom bolted at 3. Where did we go when my mom bolted? Oh, we were in that house with those people. Oh, I remember those people. What happened after that at 4? Oh, 4. That's when you moved into that other house. Oh, that's when you met Theo Rene, my dad. We used to call him Theo Rene. And I'm like, we used to call him Theo Rene. I forgot about that. Then my mom got married. And now we called him dad and we were super excited. Now I'm 5. I'm like, where was I when I was 5? What school did I go to? What was I like? What was I experiencing at 5 years old? Was I sad? Was I angry? Was I this? What was I scared? And I remember just being so scared. I remember always being fearful of things. So then it's like 6 and I broke all the way through. I went every single year, and I kept evaluating what was happening in that year in my life. What was I thinking? What was I going through? And that's a lot of the things that came up, like what work was I doing? And so I had a lot of time to do that. You don't have time here to do that. You have the time, but the distractions are enormous. If I had a phone with me, I would be on my phone. I wouldn't have ever done that. If I had hot water, I'd be sitting in a tub. I'd be like, this is nice. I'm just going to sit here and relax. You get rid of all these extra things in your life and you really start to know what's important. One of the things that I found out was, God, first off, thank you for this bed. Thank you for allowing me to spend whatever amount of time I had with my wife and my friends. And if you take them all away from me tomorrow, thank you for at least giving me the opportunity to have experienced them to this point. Gratefulness. The suffering. God, you have animals all over this place who are going through their shit. And I'm over here complaining. But yet I could feed myself every day. I could give myself water and shelter every day. Wow, that's amazing. So I left with that. When I saw Itzel, when she picked me up, I broke down. I just cried. I couldn't even speak because I had been used to not speaking. She gave me food. She had made me some hot soup, and I'm like, and I'm crying, eating this soup because I'm like, this is so fucking good. I hope I never lose this again in my life. Jesus, I was just so grateful for that moment. But you when you come back here into this world, you end up losing that. You end up losing gratefulness, and you end up realizing that your suffering is, how could you make me suffer? And then we're mad at the world. And it's like, nah, this is like you said, like it's inevitable. It's life. We're gonna suffer. That's just the things that I had to go through in that mountain and experience. And I'm glad for it. And I recommend it to everybody. I recommend it to every single human being to go. Well, there are some human beings who are experiencing it already. They're actually experiencing worse, 10 times worse. So for us, I mean, I recommend, if you're able to turn on your phone and watch this podcast and have Wi-Fi and have $1,000 phone in your hand, go up on a mountain for 3-4 days, get rid of all those things, and then come back down. And you'll have greater appreciation for that phone, for that Wi-Fi. The fact that it's even created, the fact that we can do this is just an amazing thing. So that was my experience that really ultimately led to Wise. Wise was really founded in that moment, like seeing everything. So yeah, that's really how it started.
That's beautiful. Mm-hmm. And I mean, we, even after you came back, we didn't really go into detail like we did now. And so thank you for that. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's true.
I got a lot of, I'm gonna have to go back into this, listen to this podcast, and I'm sure there's a lot of valuable lessons in it.
Yeah. There was valuable lessons on that mountain, so I'm sure some of them came out here. And I can only speak of a little bit. I could talk for hours about that trip. But just to sum it up, those were the two things: it's suffering and being grateful. There's those two things in life. It's like, but just be grateful for the suffering, because it's actually not that bad. Like first world problems, we got those first world problems.
Oh man, here in Orange County, I feel like we're so entitled, and basically we forget. We forget how tough the world is out of this Orange County bubble.
Yeah.
It's a crazy.
That's my
crazy
journey.
place.
Yeah, that's my journey. That's the journey that all came about on this. So I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be here, and then I lose that though, and don't think that just because I went up on a mountain that I'm like Gandhi now, and I'm like another one, guys. I sit on a cloud. No, I fail every day. I still just came out of a depression, but because I came out of it, because of all the things that I've learned, because I was like, you're grateful and this is good. Like without that, how long would my depression have lasted? How long would my anxiety go for? My bad habits, how long would this go for? So no, it does help. It does help to do this, and this is like something I really recommend. Like you're in a very good position to do this, like a really good position. You're in a good position to do that. We're all going to come out learning something. You might not learn that. That might be just my experience. You might learn something, but I know you will learn something. I know you will. And that's why that journey really was important. Yeah. So that's good.
Thank you for sharing that, man.
Yeah.
It's I'm sure, like I said before, everyone here, I'm sure learned a lot from your experience.
Crazy times.
So we're at like an hour and a half, right?
Yeah.
Or so I mean,
almost 2 hours. But like from the start to the finish, it's a different concept. Like you were talking at the very beginning about how it's easier to watch it and critique all the things than it is to sit here and do it. So at the start, it was very awkward, probably. Like you didn't know how to present yourself. And then as we kept going, it was just became normal.
Yeah. Well, there's like a flow. There's like an energy, and like feeding off of like their stories and your stories and your stories. And when you're beginning a conversation, it's kind of hard, like when you're having a date, right? But then you get into a flow, and you're like, hey, things going really well. That's because you're really getting to know somebody, or you really feel that flow.
Right.
And that's what happened at the beginning.
One of the things that I was telling Greg about why this idea even came about doing this podcast is because we have these conversations all the time when we're hanging out, and I feel like there's always like valuable lessons that I've learned from you guys. Just sitting down and having conversation with you guys, I'm sure there's some value to other people out there. I hope they continue to enjoy these episodes as we bring on some more guests, and hopefully we will see you guys back in coming back on the podcast more often.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah,
it was good.
I mean, I had came in a little later, but this whole experience, just speaking on subjects that sometimes we don't we don't talk about is kind of like enlightenment, because now it's like, hey man, I think I'm gonna do that. I think I'm gonna go out there and spend 3 days. But it's a little crazy. It's easier said than done, because you're there with your thoughts. Have most of the days I'm by myself and with my own thoughts, and it is crazy, man. It's just crazy how your brain works and everything's just running through and expressing it on a podcast, something like that, where like a lot of people that might be listening or might be going through that or need some kind of like guidance, you can say, in a way, because I'm not perfect, man. I'm far from perfect, but it's the attempt to be better every day what makes this whole life. And like I said before, it's we only live once, man. And if we don't enjoy what we're doing, then what is this life? What is this? So like I'm sure you're enjoying the whole coding and your whole business, and I feel like that's what life should be about. It's okay to be a 9 to 5. It's okay but are you happy doing what you're doing? That's the most important thing. And that's why we do all these things, is for happiness, being grateful, having sympathy towards others, because hey man, we're human. We're prone to fuck up, and we do fuck up, but it's those fuck ups and talking about those things that makes us better person, and living this world, this crazy ass world. We're here sitting down while somebody's out there suffering, going through hunger. So we need to appreciate what we have, and then these little things and having these conversation is really important, and a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people keep them inside. So that's great what you're doing, man, and it's awesome. And I hope you guys continue doing this, because it's, we might have one beer, but damn, that beer is like, damn.
Yeah.
I thought I had it bad. Like, my bad was,
I think that's what it's about, man. I think it's as much as a reminder to other people as to ourselves of just how crazy this life is. And like I couldn't do it without the support of the friends and family and everybody that's around me. Sometimes there's a lot of people who don't have that, and but at least maybe they can have this podcast to keep them company in those lonely times and hard times. I mean, we can go on for hours. I don't have a set time. Greg, is there anything that you wanted to add to this conversation so far?
No, I mean, we can keep talking about stuff, but we gotta save some for next time.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Okay.
Stay tuned.
To be
Stay tuned.
If Gilbert, where could people in Orange County find your company?
Everywhere.
Yeah, that's right. Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Go online.
Plug it in.
You guys have a website?
Oh, we do.
yeah.
It's Pure One
Today.
Visit pure1today.com. I gotta say the whole thing because it kind of like
It's
pure1today.
Pure1today.com. Pure1today.com.
But visit, please.
But visit pure1today.com.
Is that the same for the Instagram? Your Instagram?
It's Pure One window
Just
cleaning.
Pure One window cleaning. Yeah, we're on that. Like, you type it in. We're on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, website, Angie's List, Home Advisor, Craigslist. Go out there. MapQuest. We're out there. It's everywhere.
List is still around.
It is still around. They got bought out by Home Advisor.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What about Wise?
All right. So Wise, look, to whoever is listening, if you're a person similar to any one of us sitting here, or you have an idea and you have a business idea, or not even, it has to be a business idea. It could be a career advancement. It could be anything. Locate Robert Nunez, Wise with Eyes in Orange County. The website, wisewitheyes.com. There's some good, valuable information on there just to get you started. But honestly, shoot me a text. Just shoot me a text. Let me know what your question is. Maybe we could even talk about that question in the future, but I will help you out right away. At least I'll send you to the right person. I'll give you whatever I know, whatever value I can give you. And that's how I can help you.
And just to add to what he's saying, it's not for the sensitive. It's not. The sensitive. It's one of those things where me and him, we sit there, we sit here all the time, and we have like we have some deep conversations, but there's moments where
I'm a coach.
That's what you need.
Yeah.
So if anybody's out there listening, man, be prepared to like get your ass handed to you, because life is not easy, man. Life is gonna be a bitch. So if you're expecting to be great or you know, stuff like that, don't that's not for you. But
yeah. Mm-hmm. But even if you are dabbling in it, I would just recommend just reaching out to me, to a friend, to someone that you think has done it already. Just reach out to someone, and I could be one of those people to reach out to. It's not about the money thing, but if you're going to be taking up all my time, then we're going to sit down and talk business in the future. But ultimately, my goal is to just help people get on their way. Just get on their way.
Mm-hmm. That's beautiful what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
Pure one.
All right. Wish you guys luck. See you guys next episode.
All right there.